Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another exciting edition of Partner Picks, where perfection is a work in progress. I'm your host, Sam. Alongside me is, as always, the crew. How are we doing tonight?
We're here. It's a different night. We're here. We're going to talk some stuff. We're going to have some fun. Let's see how it happens. How you doing, buddy?
You know, I'm doing good. I'm bearing down. I'm with it. You know, we got this.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot better than fighting 18 bears in a forest, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
What is the bear stuff?
What?
Your
I can
nephew
barely
got
hear you,
into trouble last night, and we had to bail him out of it. That's long and short of it. We had to fight 18 bears in the forest.
Yeah, he's definitely my child. But this video is, of course, brought to you by Aardvark Concepts Incorporated, more than just a sign shop. Check them out for all your sign and decal needs up in Westminster, Maryland. And into deep of Maryland, I do know that they got a show coming up in November, but I don't think they have anything coming up before that. So go ahead and check out their Facebook page to get all the deets on their new shows. And then, of course, we have our third sponsor.
One Man's Demon by Brian Janorski. It is available at Amazon.com for your e-reading and physical reading if you're not a heathen and like the smell of pages. Pick one up today. I'd be greatly appreciated. The link is in the description. And if you comment that you bought a book and send me a picture that you actually bought it, I might sign a headshot. I don't know. I'm working that out.
We'll get a picture of the four of us, and we will sign it and send it to you.
I have it signing by Brady Janorski. Yes.
One day it might be worth something.
Yeah. They're all going to be pining for the Jessica headshot because, I mean, who doesn't want the best?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And I'm sure once again I was the leader.
Maybe.
Ahead of
not.
ourselves here.
We'll get there.
We're getting ahead of ourselves. You had me. I was telling Brady, you had me by one going into Monday. You had me by one.
Yeah, I know. It was you and I, and there was a point where it was Sam. Sam, you're Sam.
I am Sam.
Oh, meaning on
Sam,
the picks, and Sammy is Samuel, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not
So yeah, it
confusing
was
at
you
all.
and me, and then I know if he could just put Sammy, it would be easier.
He refuses to go by Sam. He's too professional for that.
Well, that's true.
He yelled at me when we
But
went
yeah,
to-
it came down to like the indie game. I think it came down to the indie game for you and I, Sam, earlier in the
Yeah,
lineup.
but, you know, that's neither here nor there. You know, that's in the past, you know.
Yes,
So let's bear
that's
down
Sam.
and do this, okay?
Mhm.
Now,
Okay.
we do, of course, have our breaking news.
Am I doing it?
Sure,
Or do you want to
do it.
music?
Do it.
Yeah, people.
All right, so we didn't really have a question going tonight, so we're just kind of posing it up there just because some football fans and sports fans talk about it all the time. I saw a couple things about the Lions defending that the refs had nothing to do with it. The Chiefs sucked until the refs got involved. So is that our, do you think the refs are involved, or how do we think this is going, or however you want to posit this?
I'll take this.
Go ahead.
Well, I can't speak for the Lions. I don't think that must be really new. But the Chiefs one's been like speculation for a while. And I know, especially as AFC fans, we feel like we always notice it. And like last year's Super Bowl was just kind of like, well, nobody wants this. But after the last couple of games, I've been seeing a ton of articles coming out about like really bad calls in favor of the Chiefs. And at first I thought they were like from nondescript, like one-off publishing places, but they weren't. It was like Sports Illustrated, ESPN. So I think there's actually some merit to it.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's hard not to, see it because one, they're always prominently featured on the either later games or the primetime games. You're constantly seeing them play to a bigger audience. And we all know, I hate to be a guy that brings it up at week 8 or whatever, but Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, that brings in a lot of money for the NFL. So if you have a team that is bringing in a lot of money for the NFL, you're going to want them to be good and playing a lot of games. And you want those primetime games to have a lot of viewership, X, Y, Z. So if the Kansas City Chiefs aren't playing as good like they did to start the year, and now they're getting, quote unquote, healthy for lack of a better term, getting all of the players back, like Ricky Wright, I'm not get into that.
With us, folks, we can't barely hear him.
What, you can't hear me?
We couldn't.
You
for a
started to
minute.
like.
You turn into the adults on Peanuts.
Okay, can you hear me now? Is it? Hold on, is my mic not working?
No, it works. You're
You
good.
got to select the right one.
That's right.
It is selected on the right one.
'Cause I had to change it from my laptop to my mic. So.
Either way, I think the refs are in collusion for Kansas City because the NFL is in the business to make money, not put a good product on the field.
Yeah.
Well, of course the refs are involved. Of course they're involved. But I think it's not just a black and white. The refs, of course, wear black and white thing. I think it's more so the league tends to focus on certain penalties every year. Like they make it a point to focus on certain things. And I think maybe some of the teams are keying in on that. And they're taking advantage of it. The Chiefs are very good at taking advantage of that. And quite frankly, it's annoying. They shouldn't be allowed to manipulate the system like that, but Bill Belichick, over many years, showed us you can. And quite frankly, I don't think it's as big of an issue as everybody's making it out to be.
You're wrong.
But I, for
Every
one,
sports fan ever tells you you're wrong, Sam.
yeah, but I, for one, am very upset that they did not award that touchdown to Jared Goff 2 weeks ago against the Chiefs. That was a beautiful receiving touchdown by Jared Goff. He should have had it.
So I found the article that I was talking about that started me on this trail as I was setting up the video tonight. So the NFL denies Lions' claim that refs had outside help in controversy against the Chiefs. So it is about the Lions-Chiefs game. It's not. So it's about the Chiefs and the what is it? The 13th player is the refs. The 32nd team is the ref. 33rd team is the refs. However we want to call it. I'm kind of in the middle on this. I think they're definitely involved. I definitely think they favor certain things. I think every year they try to get shady. I think I've complained about this before, where they've tried to have different ways of explaining what the refs are doing. And it's always, whenever you ask the refs association, they're always defending the refs call. It's never like an outside perspective or anything like that. So I definitely think certain teams are doing it like the Chiefs are trying to find that loophole and pushing that. And I think certain refs are maybe something under the table or whatever going after it.
I mean, think about I think it was Phil Donahue for the NBA a couple of years, like back in the early 2000s, where he was caught actually betting on games. He was a ref for the NBA. So that was a big issue there. And quite frankly, now that they're in Las Vegas, the temptation is too great for some people, and it's so easy to do now.
Well, yeah.
Well, especially considering every sports show ever is brought to you by FanDuel at the DraftKings Arena by Bet365.
Mm-hmm.
Spend all your hard-earned money on sports betting, but we can't do that. No, we definitely don't do that.
Mm-hmm. There was I think it was a Ravens-Steelers game. It was definitely a Ravens game from like 15 years ago, 20 years ago, which is the fact that I remember 20 years of football is saying something. But, like, it was a Ravens game. The refs called the play dead at the snap, and it was prior to the snap holding Ravens. How are you holding prior to the snap?
We'll never know. But one thing we will know is how we did last week. Let's take a look at that. Jessica with a 14-1 week.
Woo, my God, I didn't even know it was that good.
That's right.
I had the best week ever, and Jess still beats me by one.
Look, for a pessimist, I'm pretty optimistic, but last week just, kicked me in the nards, because, there were so many, of those, upset games that I got so close on, and just missed on because I think like every game that I got wrong like came down to almost final score. So like
Right.
final minute, I should say.
11-4, Brady. If this was 2 weeks ago, you would have won. You would have won the whole week when we were all at like 500 or under. So,
But it's nice to see us all above 500, except for the ham bone. Unfortunately,
Give it time.
didn't he beat you and me last week?
Yeah, I think he did. He did.
I'm
All
just
right.
saying, I think I might need a miracle, but we'll see. We'll see if I can pull one out this year.
I mean, Jessica's almost 9. She's 8 ahead of me right now.
Yeah, buddy.
She's pulling away, kind of like her fantasy football game last
At
week.
some point, I'll probably have to just be enshrined in the Hall of Fame and then stop participating.
Yeah, I'll have to get like a plaque.
Should we
like,
do
behind
Pee Wee
us.
League rules? Should we do Pee Wee League rules where you just have to take a 0 1 week? Just to
Slaughter roll.
No.
Slaughter roll, and she just gets to, at 3 quarters through, and
She just
Together,
competes
game
in her own division each week.
Yeah.
She goes up a bracket after this
Move
year.
me up, coach.
right, we
We're all JV, she's varsity.
we may get relegated. All right, let's get into our game of the week, and it comes straight from the jester's mouth. We have the Green Bay Packers against the Pittsburgh Squealers.
Yeah, I mean, this game, I think it's really interesting. One, because I don't think anyone on this panel or really anywhere thought that Pittsburgh was going to be 4-2. I thought that after Aaron Rodgers' disastrous 2 seasons in New York, he was going to go to Pittsburgh, lay an egg. But they've kind of been doing exactly what Tampa Bay has been doing, is just finding out ways to win games, to where Pittsburgh looks really good for like the first quarter and a half. And then somehow for the next 2.5 quarters, they hang on and win football games because their offense just kind of stalls out somewhere in the second quarter and they don't really do anything after that. And now Green Bay, they started the season, they looked like world beaters and they kind of got humbled by Joe Flacco. And then, of course, they have the tie, but they're still in first place in the NFC. So I think this is a very potential, as the season sits right now, Super Bowl preview. I would hate to see this Pittsburgh Steelers in. I'm just saying, as things go right now, it's not out of the realm of possibility because Green Bay's in first place because of the tie. So what I'm looking forward to in this game is to see how the Pittsburgh Steelers offensive line lines up and tries to protect Aaron Rodgers, he's a pocket quarterback, even though he still can scramble against Micah Parsons. And if the Steelers can finally develop a run game to really help their passing game. Because frankly, right now, their offense is predicated around Aaron Rodgers' arm. So I'm going with Green Bay in this, mainly because I think they have a better offense on paper, and I don't think that Pittsburgh's defense is as good as advertised this year. J.J. Watt is still an all-world player. They still have amazing pieces on defense, but they are still allowing teams to score on them and keep these games close, where you would look at a team with like a J.J. Watt, a Jalen Ramsey, players that are all pros, potential Hall of Famers. Defense should be playing better than this.
So, I think we're on the same page as far as kind of betting on the Packers offense. But the reason I'm betting on the Packers offense is they are like first or third in third down conversions in the whole league. Jordan Love is like 7th ranked QB right now. He's got Kraft and Dobbs that, he's got kind of at his disposal. And I don't really think with Pittsburgh, their defense isn't great. Right now, they're really good at getting penalties, especially Jalen Ramsey. And I think, what's his face? Aaron Rodgers is going to struggle against Michael Parsons. I mean, there are full halves of games where you don't see or hear about Michael Parsons, and then the other half of the game, he's like just destroying things. So I think for someone that's not mobile, like Aaron Rodgers, I think that's going to be a real problem. So I'm going with Green Bay on this one. I think it's going to be good, though.
so I tried the stats thing last week. It doesn't suit me. Sam called me out on it, so we're not going to go that path anymore. I'm going to go my weird route here. So I think the Steelers' whole plan is to get rid of Mike Tomlin and to next year get Joe Flacco to complete his tour of the NFC North. So he's going to he's only got one team left. That's what they're trying to get rid of Tomlin. He's done. Going to get Joe Flacco. So it's like the Colts suck for luck. We're going to something for Flacco. I don't know. We'll come up with a phrase for that. Flacco for Flacco. There we go. I did it. With that being said, I think the Packers are going to win. I think they got it. I don't think the Steelers, with their plan to get Flacco, I don't think they're going to be able to pull it off. So let's go Packers.
Harkening back to what Football Jester said, in regards to the Steelers, they've more so caught breaks everywhere. They played the Jets, who we now know, and I knew at the beginning of the season, are absolute trash. They've lost to good teams. They've lost to the Seahawks. They lost to the Bengals with Joe Flacco at the helm, of course. But let's see who they beat. They beat the Patriots, who hadn't figured themselves out yet. They beat the Jets at the beginning of the season. They beat the Vikings with Carson Wentz in Dublin. And they beat the Browns, who didn't have Flacco. So I think they have gotten lucky with where they have seen the teams and the players going up against them. Now, their slate coming up is an absolute dogfight. They got the Packers this week. They got the Colts next week. They got the Chargers the week after. I think they're going to get back to the middle of the pack by the time that happens. I believe the Green Bay Packers and their passing game isn't all that great right now. I think Matthew Golden needs to get more acclimated with the lineup before they're going to hit their stride. But I still got the Packers winning this one, and I got Aaron Rodgers getting thrown to the ground multiple times this week. All right, let's get into our pop panel pickups. Let's take a look at what we got. Now, I'm going out on a limb here and saying that the Browns are going to beat New England. I think their defense plays well against this competition. It's going to keep the game close, and the Browns are going to sneak away with yet another victory.
At the risk of being made fun of, there is a chance that I flip the Minnesota game because of all of the injuries for the Chargers, and I think that is a valid reason to switch my game.
Yeah, see, we're on the same. That's the only reason why I picked Minnesota.
Carson Wentz is a giant turd, so there is that.
Honestly, I went heavy on Los Angeles this year. In my big money fantasy football league, I drafted Justin Herbert and Ladd McConkey. I essentially spent money predicting these guys are going to play well, and they have, but their offensive line is essentially full of second and third stringers. They are getting a starter back tonight, but I think that there is enough, even with Carson Wentz, being trying to find a PG way of saying this, but he's going to need some prayers to survive because he's not playing good football.
No, his stats are like, if he's passing at more than 3 or 5 yards, he's like one of the worst quarterbacks in the league.
Doesn't surprise me.
3 or 5 yards, like that's insane.
But you know me, I love misery business, and I think that Carson Wentz might just be able to do enough against the Chargers because the Chargers have looked great at times, and they've looked absolutely inept, and they have no semblance of a run game right now because of this swath of injuries that they've absorbed this year.
Forgot that was tonight.
It's actually in 37 minutes.
Yeah, I was going to announce that at the end of the video. We got a football game going on at the end.
We're live, y'all. Another one I think is honestly going to be interesting is the Miami-Atlanta game because it's kind of at coach watch right now for a team like Miami who has great players on the roster, but they're still losing games horribly, and it looks like the team has quit on Mike McDaniel. So how many more games is that front office going to let them just trudge out and lose where they're like, "Hey, we need a system change."
I feel like they're going to wait until the end of the season, but they will get rid of him.
Yeah.
I'm just surprised you picked the Trash Birds, Brady.
I can't pick Miami and any kind of good faith after watching them because it was one of the 4 games I had up last week was the Miami game, and they just didn't look like they were playing. Like they were out there to get a paycheck.
And then, of course,
one time I might pick Miami is against like the Jets.
Flacco, of course, is getting a chance to go back against the Jets, who he did play for.
That's true, yeah.
Who hasn't he played for besides the Steelers?
A few.
Yeah.
I am also on the bandwagon for the Bears to win this week because I don't think that Lamar Jackson is playing. I think
Yeah, as of right now, it sounds like he might not be. So that one could flip. He was limited.
I
he's
think
limited. I think it'll be an issue.
even if Lamar doesn't play, if the front office, coaching staff, or whatever starts Cooper Rush, I will be switching my pick. But if they start
Tyrod?
No, Huntley. What's his
Huntley.
first name?
Tyler Huntley.
Tyler
Okay.
Huntley. The game plan is kind of the same when you
Yeah,
have
he's
Lamar
like the same,
quarterback,
yeah.
which I don't understand why we have trotted Cooper Rush out there for 2 games when he does not look like the same guy that we paid in the offseason.
I'm
Also,
not as
he's not-
worried about our offense. I'm worried about our defense.
This is not his offense. He cannot run this
Yeah.
offense. I have said this since the beginning of the season.
Yeah, but all he has to do is hang in there, make a few throws. We can rely on the run game if we can get some decent blocks of the offensive line, which isn't happening.
That's
But
your
our defense is letting too many freaking points out.
Well, defense was a problem even when Lamar was in. That was my
Yeah.
problem with the first couple of weeks. Is like, okay, Ravens are like the first team in history to score over 40 points and lose.
Also,
So-
I'm good.
No, so it's just so like even if Lamar comes back, like I have him picked. This might be one of the few times
Jess and I are hand fighting.
Oh,
Quite
okay.
frankly, I mean, the offense is run through a mobile quarterback, a quarterback that is going to scramble and run so that they can't just go pin their ears back and go get him. Cooper Rush is not that guy. That's why he doesn't fit in this offense.
I also don't think I'm going off any crazy tangents and building fences by saying that I would not be surprised if Carolina beats Buffalo. They have been playing really solid football on all 3 phases.
Bryce Young is out.
Bryce Young is
Oh.
out, yep.
Never mind.
Yep.
Yep.
Never mind. Retract that statement. I never said anything. Move on.
Right, bear it back a little bit. I and Jessica, for some reason, think that the Cowboys, with their high-powered offense, are going to go into Denver and win that game.
First of all, why do you say for some reason? Like I never picked Dallas.
Because if you picked Denver, I'd have been like, I'm probably the one person who's going to lose. Now I think I'm going to win. So I'm a little confused as to why you picked them.
I'm glad
to
I
be
instill
fair-
confidence.
To be fair, and I've been waiting to use this all night, and Brady has not given me an opportunity to use this, so I'm going to tell you why. I've been waiting for this for weeks, and Brady hasn't said it in videos. So, I went back and forth on this. Like, in all honesty, Broncos have not been living up to the hype that we expected them to. They're looking okay. They look like their feet are still wet, like they're a newborn coal, and they're just trying to get in. It's not really working. They're figuring out, but it's taking a while. The Cowboys are the Cowboys' own worst enemy, and just seem to have problems. Same problems every year. They need to get a weird looking new owner, like the son of Al Davis, to come and creep everybody out and force everyone to play better. But so this is just kind of like, who's going to make the mistake first? I picked the Broncos just because I'm more of a Broncos fan than I am a Cowboys fan. But I see this one going either way, in all honesty.
Yeah.
To be fair, Stephen Jones looks normal. Mark Davis.
I agree, though. I think the problem with the Broncos is their run game has completely disappeared over the past 4 weeks, and Dallas is getting healthy, and they somehow developed a run game in the absence of having a defense. Whatever, sure. let the Flames begin. I don't know what's going on with Dallas, but I do think that in Denver always plays a lot better than they do on the road,
Sure.
and you can't really practice for playing in high altitude, and that is the one football stadium where I think home field advantage actually matters. But I could also see that game being like a 45-40 shootout, because Dallas will do that against
teams like, was it Carolina and New York, where they were just throwing bombs and hitting everything, but they couldn't cover for crap. So it could be one of those games.
Dallas and New York.
Wasn't there another game where they lost by like 7, but like the total points was like 70 some? Maybe. It's like 3 weeks ago, I think. Anyway, I think that could be a.
No, they
either
tied
the
the Green Bay Packers. It was 40-40.
Oh, that one. Yeah, there you go. But I could see that being like a 13-10 game or 40-37. So.
And then, of course, we come to the last game, the Monday night game. The one.
We all got it wrong. We all got it wrong. It's the refs. The refs win.
Yeah, how do we input a zebra under my pick? But no, honestly, without Jaden Daniels, I don't see Washington even like competing, because their run game is again kind of predicated off of Jaden Daniels, and Marcus Mariota, while being a quarterback, he's not the face that is going to launch 1,000 chips or whatever other analogy you want.
So he's not Helen of Troy.
He's not Helen of Troy, and he's not Jaden Daniels. And I think Kansas City is hitting their stride with actually playing decent football, and also getting help from the refs. But
yeah,
I had to bite my tongue on that one. And let's claw back to the where we were at, of course.
Oh, Samuel.
Yeah. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. We appreciate it. There is one person. Nope, back down to 0.
The bear puns lost them.
Like we're like it went 1, and then as I said it, literally went to 0. So we got no one here tonight because we're on odd night, and I forgot to announce it until half an hour before the video. But watch it on repeat. Check it out. Click the link in the description. We got Brady's books. We got links to the band. We got all the stuff going on. Click subscribe. Check out our shorts. We're trying to add more. We're trying to keep up a schedule. Me and Brady keep forgetting. But we'll do that. Click subscribe so you know when we are live next. Hopefully we don't do it on Thursday. Life catches up though. Next week is Halloween. We'll say happy Halloween then. We'll see if we have anything special going on like we try to do in previous years.
I'm dressing up.
All right, I will.
We'll figure it out.
My faux football jersey on this week. But thank you. If I missed anything, click the end of the video from last week and you'll see what I missed. As always, we will see you guys next time. I'm Tarek.
I'm Jess.
I'm Football Jester.
And I'm Sam. And you have a great football week.
Bye, guys.